Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to Pulaski County Fiscal Court. As is customary, we'd like to open the Pledge of Allegiance, and this morning I've asked Mr. Ricky Wiles if he's going to come up. You all stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda will be approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. You've all been presented a copy of those. Do you have any changes, or what would be your pleasure for the minutes? Motion. We have a motion.
Second.
And a second to accept the minutes as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. No old business. Today we do have several items of new business. First, we've got Gray Tomlin from Kentucky Department of Transportation. If you'd like to address the court, please.
Judge Kelly, Fiscal Court, I want to thank you for the opportunity to give me to speak this morning. Just want to introduce first our Chief District Engineer, Tammy Wilson. And Tammy, have you brought anyone with you today?
I have Bill Cheney, who's our branch manager for PD&P, which is basically maintenance and construction here in Pulaski County, and Stuart Gilreath, our section engineer that works with the county quite a bit. I think all of you up front probably know him. And Amber Hale, she is our public information officer.
Well, Judge, Fiscal Court, I want to first congratulate you for the build grant that was awarded for the 461 interchange. If it wasn't for the community's financial commitment, there's no doubt in my mind that that was a major reason why that was awarded. And that's a compliment to this county, to the citizens that live here, to see that through. So I want to congratulate you again on that. I want to talk, first of all, I think we all are well aware that since the governor's taken office, Governor Bevin has about 50,000 jobs, 50,745 jobs have been created. And we've had over $18 billion of new business investment in the Commonwealth and $78 billion of exports. And the governor understands that in order to bring economic development to the state, we need a strong infrastructure. And, you know, if you look at Kentucky and compare us to Tennessee, we are comparable in square mileage, but we have double the highway miles and double the bridges. We have over 14,000 bridges in the Commonwealth, and we have 53,000 county road miles and 27,000 state highway miles. So that's a lot of infrastructure that we need to take care of. And I know at the county level, you have limited funding. At the state level, we have limited funding. But Governor Bevin wants us to reach out to all the communities and work with local officials on prioritizing and assessing some of your most critical needs within the county. Because, you know, it's easy for me to stay in Frankfort, stay in the office, and Judge Kelly can send me some pictures or tell me about some projects, but if we don't work with you, you know, we want to look through the lens that you're looking through every day, and at the local level, you know what's most needed in this county. And I know, Judge Kelly, you mentioned earlier about some bridges that have been reduced in weight in tonnage. We'll work with you to try to assess those needs and try to get those bumped up so it's not delaying any school buses or hindering any travel whatsoever. You know, as the Commissioner of Rural Municipal Aid, my job is to oversee the 53,000 county road miles and bridges within the counties throughout the Commonwealth. So, you know, if anyone has any projects that need to be looked at, I know our field reps came out last week and looked at some projects throughout the county, but if there's anything that, or anyone in the audience that has anything that we need to look at to help address these critical needs, please let us know. We want to hear from you. We want the feedback so we can help prioritize those projects.
I will have to say that I've called Bill a couple of times about a couple road issues out there on 192, and he's been right on it and helped me out when I could, so I appreciate that, Bill.
Okay.
Is the Flex program, will it still be in effect this year?
Yes.
Do we have any amounts yet, or?
We just got those amounts last week. Bill come up to the
Yeah.
microphone with you.
Okay, we just got the figures on the RS program last year. The tentative allotment, and that's done at 90%, is $2,126,000. The undistributed funds, $316,000 from the previous year. Routine maintenance and traffic, which will go for our state to use $1,063,100, and then the remaining improvements, and you wanted the flex funds.
Yes, sir.
$568,705.
And that's the county portion?
Yes.
That is wonderful. Thank you. And you said that, oh, that is wonderful. Thank you.
That's up from last year, isn't it?
It is.
That's good.
Yes, it is. Thank you so very much.
Is there anything else that anyone would like to mention?
What about the 80/20 bridge program? Is that still gonna be in effect, or?
It is still in effect. You have up to $80,000 per fiscal year for those bridging opportunity, or those bridging needs. Absolutely.
And no rollover anymore. Am I correct?
No rollover.
Yeah.
No rollover. The funding
Spend
wasn't
or
there,
lose
and
Yeah.
depending on, and honestly, depending on which county judge you spoke with, some thought that they had an 8-year rollover, some thought there was 3, some didn't know there was any, and somehow along the way, it morphed into a different entity than what it was originally intended. So, unfortunately, but like I said, I told Judge Kelly earlier, if there are bridging needs, we have the Bridging Kentucky initiative. Governor Bevin wants to address 1,000 bridging structures across the Commonwealth over the next 6 years. And it's not like what it used to be like with the road plan, it's in the 6-year plan, then 30 years later, nothing gets done. We're actually addressing 400 this biennium. So those 1,000 bridges will be addressed. And you go on bridgingkentucky.com, click on Pulaski County, and it'll list, I think there's 3 on there right now, but if there are other bridges, other drainage structure needs, we will definitely look at it and work with you on getting
That
those resolved.
Kentucky spelled out?
Yes, yes.
The one issue I see here recently that we've had to deal with is that the state has come by and re-rated some of our bridges. For instance, out on Charles Elgin Road, it was an 18,000 pound bridge, and now they've reduced it to 3,000. And the reason being is there's no files, there's no engineering plans on file that they can find anywhere. So what they have to do is rate it at the minimum. And I don't know, Tammy, where that 3,000 number comes from. Is that an arbitrary number that they put? Because it's not enough to allow school buses over. And so that's a problem for us when school bus traffic all of a sudden is not allowed to cross the bridge that they once could. And it puts us in a bind several places in the county that we had to deal with this.
Is it actually an analysis that's completed by our structural review team in central office? Because, again, you do not have plans, we have to make some assumptions, and that hurts the bridge rating. But we have worked with Dan on at least one bridge so far, to go out there and look at it to see what can be done to bring that up to standard. So we will continue to work with you all, any way we can with our bridge folks here locally and in central office to get that brought back.
We do appreciate your help, but that just so you understand, all of a sudden the bind we're in.
Well, and
Schools
that's a big issue across the Commonwealth as well, bridges that weren't addressed, or this is kind of a different issue, I guess, not having those drawings, but, bridges that have been neglected throughout the years not being addressed. So as you work with Tammy, please, we'll keep in touch to try to assess that and see if there's something we can't do to expedite that process, get those bridges up for the school buses.
Number one for us is safety, obviously. We want our roads and bridges to be safe. But when you've got a 35-year-old bridge that has always been used, and I assume there were some engineering plans at some point, and I don't know how where those have gone to over the years, but all of a sudden now we're stuck with the expense of bringing it up to code just because somebody's lost plans somewhere along the way.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, if you can get me some estimates on those bridges, we can definitely see what we can do to try to get those back up for the school buses.
That would be good. Appreciate it. Have anything else for Mr. Tomlin?
Okay.
Appreciate you taking time to come down and
Absolutely.
Thank
Speak
you
to
very
us.
much.
Well, Judge Fiscal, I want to thank you again for the opportunity, and like I said, I'm just a phone call away and a short drive away. If you ever need me to look, for whatever's going on out here, a project that needs assessed, please don't hesitate to shoot me a call, and we'll see what we can do to help out.
We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
you
You have a good
very
day.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, then, I think we have a couple magistrates that are going to be absent from our February 12th court meeting and been asked if we can cancel that meeting. I don't know, Joan, do you have any issues with it?
No, now that we're doing 2 bill lists a month, that's helping us out a lot. So what I would like to say is that it will, of course, we will only have 1 bill list that month, so it will delay the when they're due to us to make sense. So we will give them out accordingly. But yes, that's fine. We'll make sure.
We have a motion then to cancel the 12th.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next then, it's come time to reappoint our Pride Coordinator, which is Danny Maston. And I've talked to Danny. He's willing to reassume that role if we get a motion to
Motion.
Second.
to reappoint Danny. And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we've also got a couple boards that we need to reappoint. First, the Pulaski County Cemetery Board. We have 2 coming up, and I'd like to reappoint Gene Heath and Wanda Harper to that cemetery board.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, in the Woodstock Community Park Board, I'd like to reappoint Wes Hargis and Tammy Vaught.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right. Next, then, will bring us to our department reports.
Conforming, non-conforming roads.
I thought you all didn't want to. We can talk about it. We've had an issue with our conforming and non-conforming roads policy, and we have done some research, and we, found out that we are guided by our administrative code on this regard. We've got a copy there where we've printed that off. If you want to look at that, if you have any questions about it.
Section 9.3.
Okay, that's section 9.3 of our administrative code dictates, how we approach bringing roads into the county road system. There's several items several criteria that we would evaluate when we do that. So, y'all have any questions about where we're going with the roads?
In the past, the court has voted temporarily to amend that, where the court could take in a certain number of mileage of roads in each district, but that was always an exception to the administrative code for a limited duration. So the code, as it stands right now, section 9.3 lists all the 10 factors that has to be met before a road can be taken in, unless the fiscal court at some point in time votes to amend that again, as they did previously.
In essence, in 2015-16, the discussion was to amend non-conforming roads, meaning to restrict from bringing them in. And there was a committee set up to review that, but in essence, what come back, they just opted to stay with the admin code and to delete allowing 3 non-conforming miles of road in each district. That was taken from it. But you still have the section 9.3 that each district can look at when you're looking and administering and maintaining maintenance in your area as the needs arrive, to look at the admin code. Now, this was put in, I think, in 17. Now, in the changes, the election and the changes in our office, the purpose of it is I've got some roads that were turned in some time ago that I'm asking in each district if you're still wanting to set up a road committee and do a road hearing. So if you'll bear with me, I'll start with the first district. Jason, in the first district, when this first petition was turned in of Cumberland Trace properties, it was identified as Cumberland Trace, but actually when we looked at it, it was Cumberland Way. Are you still?
That one's already been completed there.
Well, but it was completed with the wrong name. So,
Well, each time, and I don't remember exactly, but this administrative code is an ordinance. So to change it, it's got to be, you can't do anything today to change what's in section 9.3.
Take 2
without-
readings on
Yes. and advertising.
Can we go ahead and set a hearing for these roads to see if they're conforming and non-conforming, and then,
Yeah, you can do that. But
I think it's
you
what we're wanting to do
can't take
is
in a
to-
non-conforming road right now without this being changed. And I know over time, I don't remember how many times, some of you guys have been around a while may remember, but there's been times where it has been amended and to take in the 3 miles of non-conforming in each district. Apparently in 17, it went back to the old original way where you had to meet those 10 criteria. Unless it was amended somewhere between then and now, and it accidentally didn't get put in the administrative code.
so tell me if I'm wrong here, the sequence,
You can,
we want to have a committee to see these roads,
Yes.
and then if we have a hearing, prior to the hearing, we'll have to,
amend.
we can go ahead and sign committees for these today.
yeah, this is the first district would be Cumberland Way.
Yes.
We need to set up a road committee for that.
Go out and look at it.
You gotta go out and look at it.
Okay, do we have a couple of y'all that would volunteer to look at Cumberland Way?
I'll go.
Need to be a magistrate to,
Doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's what's traditionally what you've always done.
somebody else will go out and look at Cumberland Way.
it. Yeah, I will.
All right, okay. Have others now.
In the second district, Mike, we've got Alice Lane.
Off of Langdon. There at the end, the school has asked, they've got a bus that runs, and they've asked for that maintenance. So we need a couple that would go look at Alice Lane.
I'll go look at it.
You want to go with Jimmy and Jason?
Where's the state at, Mike?
Turn off 27 onto Langdon and follow it all the way out to almost to the end, and it's a little development back there.
It's actually a conforming road, really.
We stopped county maintenance at one point, and since then, there've been a couple homes, and the school has to get a bus out there, and they've asked if,
Out there by Virgil Diamonds.
is that all you have in a second?
That's all I've got in a second. And then in the fourth, I've got Charlotte Drive, Chalet Drive. That's off of Merritt School Road.
We can set up, yeah, so go ahead and set up a committee, take a look at it. I don't think I've been on it. So when was that?
This was back in June of,
Do we have two of them would be willing to go out and look at Chalet Drive?
I will.
We'll go with Mike, all right?
and then, this is actually in the fourth as well, but, it's addition to, so it's wanting to add footage to Rattlesnake Road, which is off Cherry Grove Road.
When was that put in?
I don't want to go to that one. I don't like snakes.
This was actually put in 2019. No, it's actually not. It's actually not, it don't have a name of the road. It's got to add another road on Cherry Grove Road, past Rattlesnake Road.
Who filed the petition there?
A Michael Thibault, a Michael and Sandra Thibault.
Maybe we should just contact them and
Yeah, I'll contact them if I get a copy of that.
Okay.
we'll
I'll contact them and see what's up.
we'll table that for now. Then is there anything else in the fourth?
This is the petition to remove a county road,
Go for it.
and this is, name of road is South Frank Denham Road. It's off of 914. Would like to close from First Drive on the left, beginning past Drive, to the end of road. And they have talked with you, it says.
Yeah, yeah, they've talked with me. They're having a problem back in there with people hanging out, so. It's not the whole road, it's just the back part of the road. And if you follow that road all the way down, it's where, when they put in 769, that road's actually cut off down there, so.
What they're wanting to close there, it all belongs to Frankie Denham.
Yeah.
Just FYI, and I know you guys all know this, but there aren't that many roads that we take out of the county maintenance system, which is really what we're doing when we close a road. You're taking it out of the county maintenance system.
Not closing the road, are we?
Yeah, so you need to explain to all your constituents that that doesn't necessarily give them the right to go out there and put a gate up, because it may still be a public road, which the public is entitled to utilize. That's not anything this court has to deal with, but you need to let your constituents know that taking a road out of the county maintenance system doesn't necessarily mean they can block it off.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I hear that every day.
Yeah.
They want to close the road, but all we're doing is taking down the
It's
maintenance.
not your all's obligation to keep it open once you take it out of county maintenance. They would have to go retain private counsel and so forth to do that. But so just make sure you explain it to them, because a lot of people think if you take it out, if take it out, it's not a county road anymore, then they can put a gate up. And that's not necessarily always the case. In fact, it's rarely the case.
So they probably wouldn't want to do it if they can't close it off.
I think it would get more information on that.
Well, that's all there is to it. I mean, if the public's been using it,
They can still use
they
it.
can still use it, even though the county's not maintaining it. There's a difference between a public road and a county road.
Exactly. Thank you.
So do we still want to go have a committee look at this one?
I mean,
Just talk to Frankie about
You
it.
want to talk to
yeah.
Frankie
Talk to
first, all right?
You talk to them.
All right, any more in the fourth?
In the fourth, you have Nature Valley Road. It's off of Cannonball.
It's just a gravel road that goes back in there.
Yeah, it's a non-conforming road.
Have a couple, go look at that road. Mike, you want to do it while you're out looking at
Yeah, I would.
Chalet?
Okay, so then in the fifth district, Aaron, you might want to come up here. You probably want to talk about this. Come up here, we'll talk about it. Because I got a note you're going to talk about it.
That teacher coming out again.
This is in the fifth district, and it's Neely's Creek Road.
Were you changing all that down there?
Yeah. With those roads, Neely's Creek, and what's the other one? It's
Heath Road? and
It was
then
McKee. Neely's Creek Church, and McKee Road down there. Essentially, what it was is talking to the residents. The McKee roads came in, but the signs, for some reason, just keep changing every so often. Somebody tears one down, we put a new one up, but it's usually not the correct sign on that road. And also, I believe it's Neely's Creek Church Road.
Yes.
Was never technically a road. Neely's Creek Church and Neely's Creek share the same CR number. So what I was looking to do is get rid of McKee Road, do Neely's Creek all the way back to where McKee was, and then Neely's Creek Church turns off to your right and goes back to the church. There's another section back there. It looks like just the county put some gravel on it that goes up beside the cemetery. Just changing that over. That was in our map. It was in the road system, but just getting rid of that ending Neely's Creek Church at the church. And like I said, Neely's Creek will run all the way back, and McKee will turn into Neely's Creek. I think on that, we just need to change the CR numbers and change the links of the road with the state.
Okay, say that one more time. Let's start again.
It's very confusing.
It is confusing.
So you got Neely's Creek Road, which is CR number 1265. It says it's 1,190 feet, and it's blacktop, and it's 30-foot right-of-way.
Yes, I think that's total distance of what it's changing to, not currently.
Okay. But in our system, the mileage that corresponds with the CR number 1265 is what?
I don't know offhand. I have to look that up.
Then you got Neely's Creek Road, which is 2,142 feet long, and it's asphalt that's 30 foot.
Yeah. The state's already had the right-of-ways on them. We found the information somewhere, so the right-of-ways are good. It's what was taken in when the road was taken in. I don't have any updated paperwork on the roads. That's the reason I'm having just to correct it with the people who live there, try to do the best we can, because I don't have any paperwork of what was taken in.
So we got Neely Creek Road that goes straight back, and this one goes off to the left?
To the right.
So
Neely's Creek Church will go to your right.
go to the right.
Yeah. And Heath Road won't be affected. I think the only addresses it's affecting is the people who contacted me to try to get this fixed. So
So Neely Creek Road will be as correctly identified as 2142 feet right length, right-of-way is 30 foot, and it's blacktop, it's conforming.
Yes.
And then the road to the right will be Neely Creek Church Road, which they all have a corresponding CR 1265, and it's 1,190 feet with a 30-foot right-of-way, which is conforming, and it's blacktop, correct?
Correct.
We're not actually taking in roads, we're just fixing the roads.
Roads are already there, we're just trying to fix the names of them and get them lined up right, because they're all different.
So we don't need a
Every time they put a
committee to
road
do that.
sign
We
up,
just
they
need our
change
road
the road
department to
sign.
go down and
Does he need a resolution?
You're gonna have to, are you changing the names or just the numbers?
Not, just the length.
We're doing away with removing McKee Road and changing McKee, essentially just doing.
Was it previously removed?
No, McKee Road has a different CR number.
Okay.
But removing that and pretty much changing what was McKee to Neely's Creek and just having Neely's Creek match that CR number.
Okay.
But we'll have to add probably a CR number to Neely's Creek Church Road because that technically never existed. It's just, I don't know where it came from, but
we
there's
need
no
to take
paperwork on
that
it.
one
State
in,
don't
and I
have
need to
it.
change the name of McKee.
Sounds like we need to develop a committee
can
here to
speak-
get this
Well,
information straight.
you or fiscal court. You have the authority to change the name of a road, statute,
But then we need to take in Neely's Creek Church as a road.
if it's not already taken in.
So that road's not on the list.
Neely's Creek Church, no.
Okay, yeah, we need to take that road in.
And we've talked to all the residents
Yeah.
along that road, and everybody's okay with any changes that we do.
Yeah, everybody can get a hold of, which is the back three on McKee. It's pretty much whole family lives back there.
So Aaron, you're obviously gonna be on the committee with two others.
I'll get everybody maps ready, show you what we're doing, what we're changing from to. Because I looked at Google and our map and everything, all the maps show different road names, state map, I've looked at it 3 different ways, so.
I'll be on the committee.
So I've got Mark and, who else wants to go on that committee with Mark and Aaron? You want one more to go?
You can put me on there, Steve.
Okay.
What was the name of the one that we're taking in again?
Neely's Creek Church
My
Road.
name's Jason.
Billy?
Mark, Jason, and Aaron go
Neely's
work on
Creek
that.
Church
Just
Road
go
and
with
Neely's
Aaron,
Creek
he knows
Road.
where you're
Yeah.
going.
All right.
It's a good test for the committee. Aaron's on. Then we have another one that's in the 5th district. Now, this is to remove from the county road system, and this is, the name of the road is Fins and Feather, lot number 13, and it's a length of 90 foot, the right-of-way is 30 foot, and it's a blacktop, and it's connects to Sloan's Valley Road.
And there again, Mike, this,
It's at the very end there of Fins and Feathers. This guy's wanting to stop it at his property line or something, the road
was
goes,
he wanting to block it and put a gate up?
what he's wanting to do, and I told him I didn't know if he could do that, because that's how come Martin explained that, because I told him, there's people who uses that road that goes down to the lake, and that's why he's trying to stop, and I told him, we can take it out of the maintenance system, but that don't stop it from being a road. Because that road's been there forever. I mean, when I was a kid, I went down there and went to that road and went down to the lake, and, I mean, people do it all the time, everybody in that area, and he just bought this place,
So you wanna-
moved in here
you
from
wanna-
Ohio, and
Say he
You want
won't
to
let it
contact him
out.
again and see if it's still an issue then, based on this
Can't block it off.
information?
I told him I didn't think he could gate it, because he's already put a gate up, and people down there's cut it, and I told him he couldn't. He put a cable across the road, and I told him he'd have to get a lawyer. I mean, so you can visit it if you want to, but I don't think, I really personally don't think that he can put a gate up and stop people from using it.
As of now, it's a county road, so he can't definitely, so if we take it out.
He's got the cable, he didn't put a gate, he put a cable up, and it's down now. He's wanting to block it off.
So we need to contact him and clarify what is considered removal versus public passageway.
And the Forest Service uses that road too. I mean, and the Corps of Engineers uses it. The Corps goes down there to the lake and they use that road. And I I really don't think that he can block it off. I told him that wouldn't matter, this call there.
Sure can't right now.
No, we can't right now because it's county.
We're just gonna table that one then, till we speak to him.
Yeah. And this is a part of cleaning up some of our record keeping. And what we've come to find in looking through the files is, I think prior to 94, it may have been 2004, when we took in county roads, we, sometimes they turned the paperwork into the local area ad, and sometimes they didn't. Well, after 2004, they require you to turn in the minutes along with the vote from fiscal court. And in doing so, we had the length in our paperwork wrong as compared to what they took in at the ad. So this is actually Mike's district, so we're actually need to make it correct in paperwork, is Forest Ridge Road is actually needs to be 420 foot longer. Than what we already have in the system, and it's CR number 1852A.
Does it require a new hearing then?
So you're just correcting what was already established as a county road, but not properly reflected in the fiscal court minutes and paperwork?
Yes.
I think you can just do that by vote.
The road's there, but our paperwork shows it stops here,
Right.
but it,
But the minutes are correct that it's 400.
This makes the minutes correct in the paperwork that's at the ad.
So the paperwork at the ad is actually 420.
Well, it's wrong. We didn't have any paperwork at the ad. When we're going through, okay, what occurred, okay, let me regress here. Whenever we changed the CAD system with 911 and went into the new operating system, new to us is when that information was rolled over, there was a lot of errors, and the paperwork was wrong or lost, or especially when 914 was built, it cut some roads off. And they had to reestablish them. And I think in 2004, the court voted to say, here's all the county roads, and here's their CR numbers. And so to
Probably about
reestablish,
2000.
they did a map. Well, that even said, the map that we found paperwork on, it had some off. So this is one of them that we just need to make it confirm with the ad is the correct total footage of Forest Ridge Road on CR number 1852A. So
So basically, we need to bring in an additional 420 feet.
we already have it in, we just need to correct it to paperwork. Because what we've done is we've taken the files and we moved them to 911. So when we talk about roads and stuff, and they do addressing, because what happens is when people move a house in or build a house, they go to 911 to get an address. Well, just because they got an address, that doesn't mean it's a county road. So there's been kind of a communication breakdown. So Aaron, is said, hey, let me take the roads, let's keep this paperwork correct, and he's cleaning it up as each district they work.
Okay, so we don't need to go look at this road.
No.
We just need to make a motion.
Motion, yeah.
Motion to correct it.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? So at least he might need to get with him and get all those details for your minutes.
And this is also in the 5th district. This is a non-conforming road, and it's Highland Green Drive. And it's 1/10 of a mile long, and it's a blacktop with 30-foot right-of-way.
What makes it non-conforming?
I figured it would be conforming because it's blacktop. He started a subdivision down there. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's an extension off John Gover. And they've already built one house. They're gonna build some more houses there, but it's blacktop and everything. The road's already blacktop.
I think he just done it wrong on the paperwork, but it says
Yeah, I don't know why it would be
Blacktop.
non-conforming.
30-foot right-of-way.
Because it does meet our It don't have curbs, but we don't say it has to have curbs, just proper ditch, because it is blacktop. But there's only one house on it right now, but there will be more in the future. I mean, that's why he's wanting to get it in, is because he wants to build a couple of more houses there.
And they're gonna give it to us as a gift.
So we have a couple of them would look at Highland Green Drive.
What brought this up was last winter in the snow, that this people's living in that house, wanna know why we didn't go on down there and push snow on that road there, because we stopped up there. Because it wasn't a county road.
I'll go. Jason, you want to do the same time?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I believe the mail and stuff already go in that road. I mean, they got a mailbox down there, that house got a mailbox.
Get some more in.
Well, I was actually getting ready to say yeah, but it says call, email 911 to make sure road name is good. That's the notes I took. I've got one more that's here, that is in the back here. And this says Mark Shotfield Road. Sorry, Mark, this is in the 4th. And it's 0.8 of a mile. And this is off Barnesburg. Oh,
That's old.
No, that's old. Yeah. That's what the purpose of this is working through this folder. That's it.
All right.
Nope.
Okay, and then that brings us to our department report. So, Jailer?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for putting up with me, I guess. I met with the county treasurer here a couple weeks ago, and I think we've worked on the budget, trying to get it back within the budget lines. To do that, I have eliminated a major chief deputy's position out of the budget. I'm not going to have one. By removing this position, of course, that will save on salary. I'll be running the jail, and I guess with sink or swim, it'll be on me and not anyone else. So, with that being said, I would respectfully ask the fiscal court to set the number of employees at the Pulaski County Detention Center at 44. Of course, this will include the both non-hazardous and the hazardous employees and the retirement members, sworn and non-sworn. And we will also stay within the line items as set forth within the 2018-2019 budget. So I would request that the court approve that.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Also,
Can I clarify just a little bit?
Most certainly.
What this changes from the previous administration is the number of we had a set number of hazardous and a set number of non-hazardous. The thing is we were a few under the hazardous positions, yes, and over on the non-hazardous. This basically gives the jailer a little bit of leeway if he needs non-hazardous more than the hazardous. It gives a little bit of leeway, which is what we've got right now, and then go as just as long as it stays within the budget line item on everything.
Yeah, so in other words, if I have a non-hazardous position that quits or retires and I need a hazardous position, I can go
Right.
ahead, instead of replacing a non-hazardous, that would give me a leeway if I needed a hazardous position to replace it with that, but still stay within the 44 personnel.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
That's good.
But he does we have discussed, and he's very willing, wanting to stay under the line item rather than just at it.
What's the non-sworn? Is that just office staff?
Non-sworn would be like clerical staff, booking staff, the people work up in the central that monitor the cameras. Those are all non-sworn staff.
Okay.
And then, of course, our sworn staff is the staff that actually is the floor deputies that actually goes out and works in the floor with the inmates.
Yeah.
in essence, Mike, it just sets the total number,
Yeah.
44, and then if there ever comes a
He
need,
can work around that.
yes.
Yeah, just leaves it open.
How about
Sounds good.
part-time workers? Is there a number for those?
No,
He can have as many of them as he wants.
yes.
And we'll be using a lot of part-time workers. That's the next thing is on the agenda here. We'll be using a lot of part-time workers to start the work crews back up, and we plan on starting the garden. We'll get to that here just in a minute. So I'll be using a lot of part-time workers to get that up and running.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
And also, upon talking to the county treasurer, evidently I'm in the rears owing you all some money. So I've scraped together, and we've started on a monthly plan. So I've scraped together $8,466.67. This goes toward direct services to the inmates out of the commissary fund to pay for some salaries of some staff that provides those services. So
And it doesn't go to,
Appreciate that, too.
it doesn't go to us as much as I'd love it to. It basically just goes back to him, just,
Yeah, in a different
Yeah.
way.
just in a different way.
just in a different way.
Anybody want to make a motion that we accept that?
Motion. Second.
Second, motion and second to accept this check on behalf of the jailer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Next thing I've got is, it's not on the agenda, but we're in the process of starting the garden back at the jail to grow the garden. At one time, we had a lease with the property owner of the lot next door to the jail. I have negotiated a lease with your all's permission. I'd like to continue to pursue it. It's a whole whopping $1 a year. Hopefully, we'll be able to afford it. To pursue the lease and to get the lease signed with the property owner so we can go ahead and to get the garden back up and running, so.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And finally, with the work programs and the garden, most of the farm equipment and the implements and stuff were sold. I would like your all's permission, this will come out of our canteen fund, our commissary, so it will not cost anything to the county. Permission to start looking for a farm tractor. I found one, a Kubota, at Barlow's Equipment to keep it local. It's a 44 horsepower. It has a front end loader, and it also has a 6-foot tiller that comes with it. The whole combined price of that was $19,800, which is the whole total price of it. That will come out of the canteen fund and the commissary fund. With your all's permission, I'd like to go ahead and pursue
Motion to
getting
buy a
that. and-
tractor. Second.
Have a motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And that's all I've got. Thank you all.
Thank you.
You, Anthony.
Jordan. Department.
Two things today. First being approval of your road work request.
I have a 30 mile per hour on Piney Woods Road. It's not on that list, but I need it added to it.
What was it again, Jason?
30 miles per hour on Piney Woods Road.
Motion to set speed limit on Piney Woods Road, 30 mile an hour.
Second.
Piney Woods.
Yes.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to accept.
We've got a motion to accept the road work request. We have a second? We got a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Next thing being is 3,000 ton of various aggregate for the month of February.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
What about our patch crew? Can we set them up where they're in each district, each day of the week? Like one day of the week they're in my district, one day they're in Mike's, one day. That way we know what's going on and.
Some days we use them as patch, some days they use it
We got
as tree
two
crew,
now,
right?
but, yeah. But it seems like we're having a hard time getting stuff patched right now. I don't know if that'd work or not, but I know me and Dan talked about it once before. That's when we bought that patch wagon. But I know sometimes we use them as tree crew and all that too, but it just seems like they forget.
We'd alternate weeks and do 1 week tree, 1 week patch, and then you can.
Do you kind of tell them where to go each day, or what you do?
Try to. Normally, it's, the 1 day a week thing, that really strains, like, say, for instance, Blue John.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
they
one of the
make-
reasons.
They
don't-
make 2 trips to Blue John in one
they
day.
They seem to get lost and not get there.
Yeah, well, two trips a day to Blue John, and you've all day.
Yeah, I know it.
So really, it doesn't do it justice, because you cannot finish that road in a day's time.
I know it. But at least I'd have 1 day down there, because it seems like I'm getting none now.
Okay.
We can go 2 days
That's it.
per district if you want to.
I would work in a week.
I mean, we just need to work on it somehow. I mean, I don't know what we need to do, but
I know we've had a pretty healthy load from a couple of districts, and it's, that's pulled some things in the weather and the trees. That's,
I know, and this time of year, it's hard to stay on top of it, I know, but, right now, our tractor guys, are they all in working?
not all. 3 of them are, 3 of the 5 are.
3 of the 5. That helps out on trees too this time of year, when we can pull them all in, put them on them too. We just need to come up with a situation here somehow.
We're in the process of pulling everyone in, because we're going to go through our tractors, because, as you're aware, we've got, new ones coming. I don't, if they've given a delivery date,
End of March, 1st April.
so we needed to go through an assessment and send, and really talk about, are we gonna sell them, our tractors on Gov deals, or do you want to do the, municipal auction with KCO?
We're still planning on keeping 2 of them though, right?
Well, we need to go through, we've got 6 on the way. We plan to keep 1, be a total of 7. And so we're going to bring them in and look at them. And we need to do a really good maintenance assessment on them. Because right now, when one's going down, you're talking major dollars because they're out of warranty. You're talking about booms. And the thing about it is, I'm all about at times letting our guys, we got some of the best talented guys, Ryan Jordan, Brian Phillips in the shop can do about anything. But if we can't take it out and outsource it and get a warranty on it, it worries us, because when you got guys out there that's not got a certified whatever, it does cause potential liability. So we're going to pull them all in, and that will actually give us more people.
Are all of them fixed right now, all the tractors?
No, there's actually, one's got a broke axle for the second time. And then, the second one, has got a broke boom.
John's.
If it was broke, I didn't know if you'd ever fixed it or not.
No. The John Deere it's got transmission issues, and,
That one there probably needs, it costs more to fix that boom than it's worth. We just take it off and sell the tractor as a tractor.
that's
without-
what we had talked about earlier.
That's what I would do with that one.
By the way, I wanted to publicly say thanks for you guys cleaning up the road this weekend. I know I didn't have one single phone call, so tell everybody we say thank you very much for working over the weekend.
Thank you, Mark.
Get ready for round 2 tomorrow night.
All right. All right.
All right, I've got, while we're on road department, I've got one issue. We've been talking at length now about about our road supervisor situation. And we've been working on that, but I've been informed today that we have to have somebody named by the end of January. I wasn't really ready to do that today, but since legally I think we're required to, I'd like to recommend that we'd name Eugene Harness as our road supervisor.
Motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, then that brings us into our solid waste. Danny, you've got something for us?
We're going to have to back up on the last vote there. The statute says if the fiscal court does not provide for a county road supervisor, the duties basically shall be performed, or county road engineer, they can be performed by a county road supervisor, employed by the county judge with the consent of fiscal court. And no person shall be employed as a county road supervisor unless he meets the following requirements. He has at least 3 years practical road building experience of a nature satisfactory to examining authorities selected by the Department of Highways for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and he has passed an examination, either oral or written or both, given by the examining authorities and has received a certificate of qualification from the authorities. Does Mr. Harness meet those qualifications?
Doubt it.
Just a second, could I ask
Yeah.
Ms. Wilson something?
I think he will.
Hmm?
I don't know, I'm just saying that's what he's got to be qualified for, he can be the county road supervisor.
Name him subject to passing the exams.
Well, in the 3 years experience, I think.
He's got
Yeah,
experience.
sir.
Okay, so he's got the experience, so yeah, I guess there's some kind of exam that state administers.
That kind of problem.
Statute.
No, I wouldn't.
How much time?
Richard, you want to name
That girl could eat.
I was talking to you, Steve.
Just having dealt with this before with many supervisors, et cetera, I spoke with Tammy Wilson, of course, Chief District Engineer, and she said that with this vote, you can vote him pending the meeting and
He has to take a test there with the.
yes, and pending approval, thank you, I couldn't come up with the word, Joan, of the state highway. Okay.
So,
Did I answer that correctly, Tammy? Thank you.
We need to make a new motion that we, Eugene Harness, subject to him.
I'll withdraw that motion.
We need a motion to appoint Eugene Harness as road supervisor, subject to his passing the examination with the state.
just say meeting the requirements of KRS 179.020, subsection 2.
Is that your motion, Jimmy?
That's it.
Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Do we know that Eugene's interested?
Eugene mentioned to me that he would be up for promotion. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries. All right, now, Danny, we'll let you have the floor.
Just a few things I'd like to present this morning to fiscal court. First off would be our numbers from last year, recycling and litter. Our numbers for total recycling last year were $7,758,000 251 pounds. It came out to be 389.13 ton. That's up 300 ton of material that we shipped out the door over 2017. A lot of that had to do with us helping Wayne County with their current issues with their fire, that we're still continuing to help them for a few more months. Hopefully talk to their coordinator, and they should be up and going by the end of March. Our litter pickup, we cleaned 2,490 miles, collected 14,660 bags of garbage. I know a lot of you are getting complaints about garbage on the roadways right now. We're out there doing what we can. We cleaned Highway 80, working on Highway 192 and Highway 39 right now. Some of the parts that we cleaned on 80, you can't tell we cleaned on 80 because they've already got litter back on them. But and a program with the new jailer, we're going to get some inmates back out on the roadways here soon with one of our employees who used to work at the jail. So I think we're going to have a good relationship there going forward. That should be good to help us get more roads cleaned. We'll have our guys out there and these guys out as well. Second thing I have to bring to you today, last Friday I met with the Kentucky Division of Waste Management. This is our year for the waste tire cleanup. It'll be April the 4th, 5th, and 6th at the State Highway Garage, like we always do. I just need approval to Steve to sign this agreement so the county can have this cleanup again this year.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And one last thing that came across the desk this morning that I needed to go ahead and get brought forth, not on the agenda, but we need a resolution this morning signed. The 109 board agreed a month ago for us to purchase a road tractor on the same rotation that the county has with the dump trucks. Our road tractors were deteriorating to the point where we had a transmission fall out on one as he was going out Highway 80. The bolts just sheared off and our tractor was down. So we needed a new truck, and this program looked to be the best. But Joan can speak a little bit more to this.
When Danny came to me with this, he had originally, it was going to go completely through the 109 board and solid waste. After speaking with Kelly Miller at CAECO, she, excuse me, she advised that we could not do that they could not do that. It had to run through us. So therefore, what will happen is we will do, if at your pleasure, we'll do the resolution, et cetera, get the funding through CAECO, just like we're doing now with our dump trucks. But it will show up on our financial statement, but every month or every quarter, however Danny and I work it out, it will be paid 100% by the Solid Waste 109 board. So it will be of no cost to us. It just will be part of our financial statement, and we will have to vote to pay the claim, et cetera.
Is the 109, would it be on our insurance or 109 board's insurance?
Everything through 109 board is already on our insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
Motion.
Second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.
Are you going to?
That'll bring us
I need a copy of it.
to the treasurer report. Carolyn, you've got a few items, looks like.
Oh, yes, that would be me. The first item I have today would be the bill list, the second bill list for the month of January.
Received a copy of the bill list. Do you have any questions, or would you entertain a motion to accept it?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
I also have, did we vote on that? Did I miss a vote?
They voted.
Okay.
Passed.
All right, I get ahead of myself sometimes. The second item I have would be the quarterly report for July 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2018.
Got a motion?
Second.
A second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
We have opposition. Let's take a roll call vote, please.
Turpin,
No.
Wilson,
Yes.
Wilden,
Yes.
Ranshaw,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries.
The last item I have would be fund transfers to road and to general fund.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, motion carries.
May I have the floor for a moment before we move on to off treasurer? All right.
Gonna fuss
I
at
wanted
me.
to update the court on the ongoing Norfolk Southern saga. Of course, with the government shutdown, all the civil matters are being held in abeyance in federal court. So my case is just laying there. But I got a bill from my attorney, and it was $22,618, and the court had graciously agreed to pay that bill back when all this started. And but since you all voted to take over some of my payroll expenses, I was able to use some of the money that I might have otherwise had to use for that to pay this bill. So you guys I'll withdraw that request that you all pay the attorney fees on that, so that'll save you $22,618.75.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for what you did. So.
That's awesome. What do you think's gonna end up on that?
And welcome
No,
to
it's
you
kind
all, by
It
the way.
wasn't funny to Greg.
Welcome to
Oh, yeah.
all your
Child
group.
support's working out great in here. You know, it's not funny, but Sheriff Speck called me, it's probably been 3 weeks ago, and he had 2 of his deputies that were, the railroad, the stop train had them blocked in for an hour and a half.
I heard that, yeah.
I did too.
I mean, they're just obstinate about it. They'd been up there and threatened them and tried to arrest, but I mean, they just sit there, so. I don't know what'll happen with it. The Indiana case that we were hanging our hat on, that was similar to ours, the Indiana Supreme Court ruled in favor of the railroad, so it doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's hard to fight the railroad.
Yeah. But, I mean, as long as that statute's on the books, and I'm gonna talk to the legislators about, I mean, if we can't enforce it, it doesn't need to be on the books, because the public expects us to do our job and law enforcement to do their job, and if you got federal case law that says you can't enforce it, then it needs to be removed from the books, so, but that's another.
I actually had a resident contact me that the train off of Cedar Grove locked them in for 5 hours the other morning. Nobody could get to work, nobody could get to school. Started at 7 and didn't end until 5. I went down to the switch station, but nobody was on staff that I could talk to. So
What's
I don't know.
disappointing is when all this started, the railroad's attorney came out with he said, I think we've got this case solved. He said, so he had a proposal where, well, it wasn't a proposal, it was the railroad's own internal memorandum that said, this has to happen before stop short of here, and, don't pull up until the new staff's there ready to get on the train, and yada, yada, yada. So they had and have a solution to it, they just don't follow it. And that's what's frustrating.
You're complaining on the dispatchers. It says the
Yeah,
dispatchers.
yeah.
Well, they ought to go talk to the dispatchers and say, hey, we need to get on the same page with us.
Jason's brother's having a terrible time up there with them at his place of business. He's probably lost a lot of business through this deer season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but thank you all for,
I heard they're gonna build a bridge up there in Science Hill over that. Are they
I
gonna
know
do
there's
that?
some studies
Tammy,
being
you know
done on
that?
that.
You know the answer to that?
We will be doing a public meeting on September 29th, next
Yeah.
7 to 9. It'll be at Science Christian Church to go
September.
over what we studied. Oh, sorry. What did I say? January 29th, next Tuesday, 5 to 7, Science Hill Christian Church. And we'll go over the studies. We've done our planning study and begun that, so we have several options to review and invite the public to come out.
I hope they will, because it's a real problem.
It's a problem, yeah.
I know 911 responded to open records requests, so they would have that data showing how many calls. And we would still encourage the public, continue calling 911, so we can have a record of just how flagrant this whole thing is in our county.
Yeah.
All right. No further business?
I've got, this deal with the constables in the NCIC, what's the deal with that, Martin? What's going on and what we need to do?
I don't know.
Aaron, you can probably answer that too. I mean, you don't come up here and explain this to us?
Okay, Aaron, with nothing on the
I can
agenda.
explain what I know. I know this was talking to Captain Dalton, Post 11. I think what it stemmed from was, I believe in 2009, somebody passed an ordinance law of some sort, I guess with NCIC or KSP or something, stating that you had to be a certified police officer in order to have access to the NCIC. And for some reason, last week, they decided to enforce that. After 10 years, they decided to come around and enforce it. And Todd Dalton said that he's been in talks with them as part of, I guess, where he's a captain. I think what is going to happen is this week, he said we should receive something in writing giving back the powers so they can run the NCIC. I don't know what, if any stipulations will be in that, but according to what I've been told is this week we should get something in writing that will give them back that capability of running everything through NCIC.
Okay, so I'd heard that it was supposed to have been overturned like yesterday or today, but do you think they will do it this week?
I'm waiting on something in writing on it.
Will they do it a blanket for everybody, or will they just do it on certain, you have to meet their criteria, or what will they do?
I think what we heard the first time around was if you're certified in a constable and certified police officer, it was still up to the post commander, whoever's with KSP, the commander of the post in that district, could give them the right or take it away. Even if you're certified, he could still take it away. And talking with Todd, I don't think he has a problem with anybody in our area. So as soon as, I guess, the KSP and the Constable Association get everything worked out, everything should go back to normal in our area. Should.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about this. I mean,
I don't know if there'd be any stipulations on it. That sort of gets me concerned because, I mean, everything's already stressed out enough. If they start putting more on there, it's just going to cause more headache for everybody involved. So,
yes.
I'm surprised there wasn't an advanced warning of this coming down versus just getting a notification one day of what they're doing.
And explain this to me. The NCIC, that is a branch off the state police. They own that website.
It's
not ours.
It's the FBI.
It's the FBI.
It's a nationwide database.
Okay. So they can pull the plug on that.
Yeah. They can. There's a lot of 911 centers that still don't have access to NCIC. We've had access for years. And there's certain security measures we have to go through, and I know some 911 centers actually get sanctioned and get their privileges pulled until they meet those. So they do take everything very seriously as far as who has access to it and what they can see and what they can't.
I heard it was going to be a person by person getting access to it. They're going to identify each person or something. Is that
I haven't
true?
heard that.
Or just blanket it again?
That's why I heard that what I was told is I'll get something in writing this week saying how they're going to, I guess, how they're going to go about it. Well, last I heard it was a post commander's decision.
And how's that? I mean, I don't understand how he can.
KSP, I guess, is sort of the governing body over that for the state. So they have a say on the state level. I don't know exactly how it all works. But I know we have to go through the lieutenant colonel to get our user agreement signed with the state.
Yeah.
Like they've switched out. I think they've had 3 lieutenant colonels in the past year or so. So every time the lieutenant colonel switches, we've got to have all the paperwork re-signed with his signature on it. And that right there is taxing itself. It usually takes 2 to 3 months to get all that done.
Yeah.
Constables are unique creatures. You know, they have, by statute, they have the same authority as the sheriff does, but you all have to give them the authority to have a blue light on their car. The sheriff has to give them authority to have a radio in their car, and the state police has to give them authority to utilize things like NCIC. So they get elected and they have these powers, but then the trappings that go along with allowing them to do their job all have to be authorized by somebody else.
Yeah, I knew we had to give them the blue lights and the
Yeah.
sheriff had to authorize it.
For the,
I didn't know that the state police authorized their use for 911.
for the benefit of the public too, newspapers here, can you clarify who has the oversight
Of what?
of constables? And
No one. I mean, they're an elected official. The only oversight is what I just described. The court gives them the authority to have a blue light. Sheriff gives them authority to have a radio in their car. And state police gives them the authority to run record checks on people.
Because I do get that question quite a bit, I get calls about constables, and what can you do? My constable did this, did that, and I said, I don't have oversight over your constable. I don't have oversight over the sheriff, I don't have oversight over Linda Burnett, I
They're
don't
like
have
the rest of us.
oversight over the jailer. It's, elected officials basically are our answer to the public.
Yep, we all get graded every 4 years.
And a lot of it, Mike, is when we go to different conferences and stuff, and you look at constables statewide, there's been issues in the state regarding constables, but we're unique in the sense we do have a really good group of constables, and they try to do and help anywhere they can. So
Well, I've heard that it wouldn't, because of our county, this happened, but they had to do it statewide.
yeah, they did it statewide, and my understanding is they're going to require to access it that you have to receive certain type of certification, which that would be either DOJ or certification to access it.
Yeah. Have you talked to them any, Aaron? Have you?
I have talked to constables, Marissa has, though. Our attack officer, she's in charge of all the user agreements. She has stuff with them.
Yeah. They can still talk to 911 though, if they get out and get hurt or need help, they can still. They just can't run license plate, stuff like that.
No further business, would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
David Dick is here.